Prime ends their losing streak. Should I say Yoda does, with the mech play versus the recently discharged Horror. And now they're going into another favored match. Keen. Terrible record overall, but he's one of these players that gets fielded every time, and Prime's results are very weak, so it's no wonder that he's got a bad record.
Yeah. We've seen some ups and downs from Keen, mostly some pretty poor matches recently. But, you know, it's a brand new day. It's up against Seed, who I dare say is not in good form currently. He's been struggling for a while. He very rarely gets put out for MVP as well.
Yeah, he's 1-5. He's 1-1 versus Terran. I think the only win he took was in an ace match, actually. I believe he beat Samsung in that match. It was a while back now. What? 0-2 in ace matches? That can't be right. I know he won an ace match because I remember him like screaming and running, but maybe it wasn't an ace match. Maybe it was just the final match and ended up winning MVP of the match. But either way, that's one win.
That's one win.
I mean, Keen's doing better than he is, to be totally frank. And
yeah.
Let's see how he handles this new meta, though. It's a huge map we're going into. We're going into Iron Fortress. Keen not known for late game, but perhaps in this matchup he can show us something different. The winner of this match will take the lead. Let's go into game number 3. Down here in the bottom right, Keen for Prime, the former MVP Terran, very famous for his ceremony he did in 2013, clapping his hands.
I love that one. Up here in the top left for MVP, it is Seed. Once upon a time, a GSL champion for Incredible Miracle. Since then, fallen from grace.
Yeah. That was in Busan, man. That was a while back. He beat MC in the PvP finals. Everyone favored MC. And Seed went on to win it 4-1.
Didn't he leave Incredible Miracle shortly after that as well?
Yeah, about a month later.
Yeah, that's right.
Joined FX Open. And
that's when the fall began.
Yeah.
Wolf
did decently well for FX Open for a while in GSTL. It was really towards the end of GSTL he really started to fall. And he was in Code S actually pretty consistently for a while after that, then eventually struggled to even maintain his Code A. He was losing in like the round of 48 when we had rounds before we adapted the WCS Challenger format.
Right, yeah.
And he was like losing in the first round a lot.
Some rough times.
You know, I look at Seed and I feel like he's been through so much. Like I could see it in his face. Like you see, like he doesn't look confident. He never smiles anymore, man. He's just a chiseled guy, man. He's just seen so much. He's been through a lot.
He's been through a lot. He's been grinded down.
There's a few one-hit wonder players that have won GSL finals. I'd say the two that come to mind most of all are Seed and Jokchi. And if you look at what Jokchi has accomplished for himself after his GSL, he did very well overseas and has come back and struggled, I would say, but still has done much better than Seed.
Certainly so. He seems like a much more motivated individual. And that GSL win he did have, it kind of felt like it didn't mean too much to a lot of people.
Yeah, he beat Lenok, and it was Lenok's only GSL finals. There was a time where Terran was really strong, and it was on a new map pool that wasn't that figured out yet. It was really well played best of 7 by Jokchi.
I enjoyed that a lot. He was a very, very great Terran player, and I had high hopes for him as well. I'm like, this is one of the new badass Terrans we're going to see a lot more.
It's funny.
Never again.
He was on NS Hosa at the time, I'm pretty sure. He was still on that team.
Yeah, he was.
And the only player from that team to ever take a title.
Yeah, that was a cool team. I like the name more than anything else.
And there were so many players in that team that I feel like that had so much potential, but they just never got to where they needed to be. Like, I look at
Seal, man.
Seal
was my boy.
Tassadar as well.
Yeah,
Tassadar was really good, and he did really well on that team, but I feel like he never transitioned out of his good timing attacks. He was like a new age Hongan or like any pro. Like, he always had like the cool 6-gate or like the Charge Zealot +2 armor attack versus Terran with sentries to bust the bunkers, but never really actually got to where he was destined to be. His macro just never improved.
Oh, well. I wonder where they are now. Do that show, like, where are they now? And it's like, where's Nesty?
I know Tassadar was playing a little bit of Heroes of the Storm. He might still be doing that. He didn't qualify for the OGN Super League. His team's not in that, but
yeah, a lot of players seem to try and jump to the new next game if they're had enough or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of players that did that.
I know MVP and Nesty did that.
Yeah,
they went for Heroes.
They did for a little while, and there was like a talk that they were going to make a team, but it all kind of fell through. And now they're just kind of out there, man. I miss those guys.
Yeah, I just think they didn't enjoy it. Like they weren't MOBA players after all or something. Though MVP was meant to be like a pretty high level league player.
Yep, he was Diamond 1 for a while. But he knew that the game was not for him, like a team interaction type environment, because that's totally different from 1v1's games, which is what he grew up on.
Yeah, certainly so.
Well, taking a look at this game, before we get too nostalgic, as I'd love to talk about this for hours, is it's going to be a Robo opening for Seed, so he is playing towards like the standard, and Keen just doing some Reaper harass, some scouting. He's got a good idea about what Seed is doing. He's not too concerned about proxies. He also holds the Watchtower. Looks like he's going to go up and check one more time, see if there's any move outs or anything like that. Wants to see if the Mothership Core is still at home.
Yeah, it looks like he's aiming towards that Marine Mine Drop sort of play here.
Yeah, this has fallen out of favor quite a bit because Protoss players are just getting better at defending it. We never have that game, the typical creator game where it's like, oh no, he lost how many probes? Like, that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, that very rarely happens. Everyone has really polished their any mine drops and any marine drops. But, let's see what happens in this kind of game, because Seed is one of these players we don't see very often, that has very little success when we do see him. Maybe he's still struggling in that current place.
Mothership Core, okay, only has enough for one overcharge. So if he wants to bait the overcharge, I mean, this is a lot of Marines with this drop. If he baits the overcharge with his mines, or vice versa, the drop that goes to the non-overcharged location could do a lot of damage. Now, Keen is looking at this, but he might not have a scan. But regardless, Seed sees this.
He sees it. Oh, gonna scout the natural, I guess. Nothing too interesting here.
I almost feel like he was trying to see how much energy the Mothership Core has and how many units are there. So, like, which natural does he want to hit with the mines? Which bases does he hit with the mines? Which bases don't hit with the Marines?
I think it's much better to hit the main with the mines, natural with the Marines. So I don't think it's going to work out if you hit the same one, and an overcharge kind of defeats everything with an Observer.
I mean, it'll kill Marine with 3 shots. Okay, so he might try to go up the ramp, but there's a sentry.
Oh!
Not if it gets sniped, and oh my god, 6 kills. That's way too many. Don't forget, there's one going on in the main base right now, right?
No, I think it was only 2 in that natural.
Okay.
Then he pulled back.
Okay, I thought he had a 3rd one there. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean, if he did, I'm sure it would have done a lot more damage there, because he was very underprepared. He even saw it coming. It was only in one base, and he still lost 6 probes. Just very poor reaction timing with those splits.
Yeah, the sentry that it got sniped there as well is a pretty big win for Keen here. Just going to try to scout with this. Not going to happen, though. It is just going to be normal Colossus tech, but everything seems a bit delayed here for Seed. And if you look at the worker counts, like if you look at a Terran player who's about even in Harvesters with a Protoss, that means they lost a lot of probes, because the Protoss should theoretically be, at least until Legacy of the Void, able to Chrono Boost probes out constantly and keep a worker lead.
Well, triple Marine threat here. Flying over the Stalkers, I guess that was a bad idea. Down it goes.
Not really entirely sure what he was hoping to achieve there.
Not quite what was planned.
That's just not right.
Well, I guess that drop's over and done with. I don't know.
That was unnatural, Moonglade.
That was a very unnatural occurrence there. I think he might have clicked
He might have been
minimap.
possessed for a moment there.
I hope that's the excuse he uses, because I don't know what else you could use for flying your medivac into Stalkers you see in front of you. Unless you're clicking the minimap by accident or something.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Well, I mean, it was a small loss. I mean, it was what, 4 or 5 Marines on that drop.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely really bad, but it's not like game ending. He can definitely recover from that. I was going to say, he needs to take a 3rd base soon, because what the army has now, he's not going to be able to make a 2-base timing work. And Colossi are out. Range is shortly on the way, or shortly going to finish Blink even sooner. So he's got 2 Colossi. So this drop can threaten a little bit, but it's definitely not going to do big damage unless Seed really screws it up.
What do you think of that Immortal addition to the army? Do you think that's it's kind of cute? It does a lot of damage, especially if they were going to see like aggressive bioplay trying to jump on top of the Colossus.
I think it's really good for exactly that. It's something that we've seen a little bit more in Korea. SOS has been doing it. I'm trying to think of the other pros have done it. Might have been Classic, but just adding this Immortal in means dropping Marauders or just stimming Marauders into that is less effective. Oh, this Observer placement is really nice. He's actually going to see this coming. But what he also knows is like, wow, You don't have a third base at all. You still don't have that. I have that on the way. I need to gear up for an attack. I need to commit to Vikings, which he is doing. I think cut Medivacs entirely, and even if he can, try to get a few more Marauders out, maybe switch some Tech Labs around. Just keep getting out those heavy-hitting units to hold off any push that Seed's going to hit with. Look at this, more gates coming up. I don't think we're seeing a third base this game.
You don't think so?
This doesn't look like it.
Yeah, you might be right there. It's hard to say because Protoss, on these kind of maps, delay it for a long time, but this long, it's kind of making me worried here.
Because Keen already has a third that he's now saturating. He's going to have triple orbitals. He made that the third base. And this pylon that's here as well just kind of leads me to believe he's gearing up for a bit more aggression. But the longer this goes on, Keen is just going to get massively ahead.
Yeah, his economy and supply is going to bolster way too high if left unchecked. You can't sit down at base for this long without doing some kind of damage, some kind of attack.
He's also going to be at 1/1 upgrades versus just the +1 armor for Seed for a little while. This pylon's going to go down. Nice cute little stem there on just the Marine to make sure he can get that probe. No more pylon threats.
Armor on the way, so no chance of a 1/1 timing or anything like that happening. It's like Keen's going to prepare himself for the late game as well. It's going to be hard to try and end this one early because it is cross map on such a big map.
I feel like if Keen just keeps poking, he's going to be in a great spot. I would love to see him harass his natural and use the Vikings. If the Colossi come back at a weird angle, he might be able to get a few good shots off.
Yeah, I do like that.
Just keep threatening this base. Don't commit, but threaten. And keep Seed on the defensive while you keep getting more and more out of your third base. Add more barracks, get your Viking count up. He doesn't know that Ghosts or whether Storm is getting pretty close. This is kind of a risky move by Seed to actually take a late expansion with only a few Colossi and try to go High Templar. If this was going to be a 1/1 timing attack with deploying the boys, which actually, if he didn't add that armor, I would say it looks like it might be. He'd be very vulnerable right now.
I would have liked it a lot, actually. I think it would have done a lot of work. But this way is not too bad either. So long as he gets enough units out and he gets the right position. I mean, he could try and fight this right now before Storm is finished if he actually knew what was going on. This triple drop, though, could do a lot of work in the natural, considering everything is at that third base. Except for those Templars, which could be a big problem. Because the Medivacs are full of energy right now. Feedbacks will kill them.
Yeah. Alright, just trying to assess the situation. The Marauder ratio.
Oh, look at this.
Oops.
Scouted.
The Marauder ratio is really good right now. And I like how he's actually making 3 Marauders to 1 Marine back at home. He's making this army, as it approaches max, so much stronger. It's actually a 2-to-1 Marine Marauder ratio right now. That's incredible damage that Keen can put onto this army. And upgrades are tied right now at 1/1 apiece, as our observer was just wondering as well. It's important to know right now. Seed keeps putting his pylons all over the map, not for harassment, but I feel just for vision. Much easier to do that and keep your Colossus production going than to have multiple observers.
Yeah, he's really lacking the vision on the map. A lot of fog of war right now. I mean, Keen trying to take the army apart. It's coming in from different angles here. But there's Storm and Colossus waiting in the natural. There's a much bigger army waiting in the third base.
Storms are so important. Like, fighting this choke point is never a good idea for Keen if there are storms here, but with no High Templar, he's scot-free. He's like, oh, what? You have nothing here? He's also missing Vikings. Vikings would be great in that position. Where are his Vikings?
Where are his Vikings? They're back in his natural. There's only
man.
about 6 of them right now.
He could be doing so much zoning with them. I mean, yeah, he only has 6. He's now adding additional ones with his ghosts, but he could really force these Colossi out of position and use that air to his advantage. The lack of vision, the lack of observers is starting to bite Seed here. As you can see, a big attack here. He actually walks one Colossus dangerously close. Looks like Keen isn't paying attention. He's going to go for the Forge here instead.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's going to go for the Nexus at the natural.
Oh, man, completely exposed here. He should be able to get it. Oh, he's going to get out of here instead. Probably a better choice.
But now he can hit the third base as well.
And the main.
That is a great Storm. That was quick reaction time there by Seed. And Keen's aggression here is getting shut down. He gets the Force, but that's it.
Wow. After all that said and done, half damage on the Colossus, half damage on the main Nexus.
Just kill a few High Templar here, but it's going to have to leave. If he loses this Bioforce too, it's going to be painful. It's so tough to actually do big pushes at these spawning locations on this map. I think that's the reason why we didn't see him pull the boys and go for that 1/1 timing, just because it takes so much longer to get across the map. But, because these drops failed, I think we're going to go late game, like late game, like we're going to see nukes. Because what's Keen's option here? There's no more timings.
I think the next step here is bring the Vikings, bring the Ghosts, try again, because He was saving the most of his army. Beautiful War Prism play, by the way, putting everything back. You know, Keen was prepared to just about to move across the map and try for that big attack. But Warp In just stops everything in its tracks. So you're going to do a lot of
so many
SCV.
kills, yeah. He killed a lot of just units in general as well, reinforcements and the like. So indecisive here as Seed. Upgrade-wise right now, it's 2-2 to 1-1. Keen's advantage. So this is a really stressful moment. Oh, he's actually going to go for this EMP on these units. That's going to work. He gets for the snipe as well.
Oh, he gets it too.
Denies an Archon. Second one does get up. Looks like he had tried for a Widowmine drop, but didn't go off. This Archon is big ED.
Should be at least. But we're looking at about 13 Vikings so far. It's not too bad considering the count is not... Well, it is pretty high actually. About 5 Colossus right now. You probably want around 16 to 20 Vikings to try and one-shot them. You got to be dodging storms. You got to be dodging a lot of Blink Stalkers as well. So it's a pretty hard fight to try and counter it.
His control against the High Templar has been pretty good. So I'd say a higher ratio of Vikings definitely warranted at this point. I think we're going to see, the cannoning, the additional Ghost Academies. If this attack fails, like if this doesn't do game-ending damage, we're going to go to the late game. Storm's here, denying this attack on the ramp. Easy peasy. Even with only 2 High Templar, King cannot go up that ramp.
He can certainly go to the natural there, force him down this ramp that he doesn't want to fight at. If he's got these Vikings in a good place, he should be able to take a fantastic fight.
He's also really consistently denying Seed from taking a 4th base, which is very important. But Seed is doing a ton of SCV damage. Look at his bank as well. Seed is just killing so many workers. Just constantly having this huge bank. Where's the defense of these Colossi, though? He's just going to trade on them.
Oh, wow.
So many of them are actually low.
Oh, he ate a whole storm, though, with these Vikings. I don't think there's going to be enough left over to stop these Colossus.
Well, you know, he's stormed on top of his Stalkers as well, so the bio is also getting in there. And the upgrades are just way better here. Like, +3 is finishing as +2 is finishing for Seed, so he's a whole set of upgrades up. And that affects the Vikings as well.
DT is going to be looking to clean them up. Nice EMP on them, though, but I think everything dies anyway. Keen loses the rest of his army.
He needs to get geared up to start turtling, because he lost a lot at home. He lost a lot of harvesters, and he lost a lot of reinforcements. He needs to drop some mules here and get the army ready to hold this. Now, Seed is remaking a 3rd base, but they're going to be right now on the map. How many DTs? Like 6 DTs going into multiple locations. And, I mean, they're all over the place. He needs to set up. Seed is actually going to double expand this. Ghost Academy for burns down. Could be problematic.
That would be a problem.
He's repairing it. There's no turret here at this planetary, so he's going to lose several SCVs. Other units coming over here to the 3rd base. And let's see how many scans Keen actually has available. Okay, turret here, really important. Going to clean these DTs up. Keen has a better economy, and I'm a bit surprised Seed is not being more aggressive with the units he has. He had a huge bank. He was able to remax his supply very quickly, and now he's just turtling for some reason, even though Keen has like no real standing army to pressure with.
Yeah, I guess he really did reset the count for like Vikings, for instance, for Keen. So he's like, well, you know what? I can't go into Colossus. I can't go into Storm and just keep this army alive. Once my economy is stabilized, I should be able to just bulldoze him once again.
Keep in mind, 3-3 to 2-2 now.
Oh, looking for a Storm.
Pretty decent. Doing a lot of damage to those medevacs as well.
Yeah, the upgrade advantage is quite impressive with Keen, actually.
Yeah. Vikings, though, not a whole lot of them here. I think trying to hit the 4th base would be better. I don't think he knows about it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, he notices a pylon is there. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, that should never happen.
That won't happen in Legacy of the Void. Get better Stalker UI, or AI.
All right, a little force going to the left side. Might be looking for that 4th base.
All right, he's going in here. He's going to draw this army away. Then the drop in the main is a bigger issue. Even if he doesn't kill his base, he's like, oh, this is empty. And then the main base, how many gates can he get? Can he maybe get the Templar Archive? Perhaps a Forge? Dark Shrine? Any tech he can get. He's going for the Dark Shrine.
Yeah, go for the money here. It's actually DT right there, forcing out a scan.
Snipes 2 sentries as well for like 1 second there. Not a big win. Gets a Dark Shrine, though. That means like less harass and, you know, his drop defense is kind of weakened because that's how Seed has essentially been defending most of these drops, is just by warping in a few DTs.
Big mistake there at the 3rd base. Not mining. There we go.
I was going to say, that was like a novice mistake. That's the moment where you're like, did I lose a lot of probes at some point?
Yeah, why is my economy non-existent?
Why is that idle worker count at 21?
Yeah, why did I look at the bottom left of my screen earlier?
Well, look at Keen's. I mean, Keen's got a 5th base. He's got tons of mules. The 3-3 upgrades just finished. I think at least he got the attack too. I know he got the armor just now. The upgrade advantage not as massive for Keen anymore. Beside Templar, I was going to say, for the Storm ready, would not even mind for him to kill that cooling tower, to be totally honest. Actually, that pathway Keen has been abusing this entire game.
The scan goes down, sees the 4th base saturated up, and the army waiting for him. And backdoor again, we do see more bio coming in here.
Yeah. I mean, this cooling tower, if he destroyed it, it could just delay this at least. And a kill in a simulator. Keen is looking for something. He's actually maybe going to try to sandwich these units. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. Sandwich these units here. And the rest of those Colossi out of position, but Keen gets cold feet. Goes for a drop in the main base instead. He knows all these units are out of position, way, way, way out of position. And he can get a few more tech buildings, maybe get that forge. Get a bunch of pylons, perhaps unpower some gateways. I mean, okay, going to go for the Temple Archive. It's not too far away. The Robo is fairly exposed as well. And Keen's always scanning and ready to threaten. His army is just so big at this point that Seed can't contain it. He can't stop it from attacking all of his bases.
Down goes the Robo as well. So big problems here.
I think this is the beginning of the end.
I think it just might be. He's getting outmaneuvered at this point. The armies are just too big. He has a decent composition Seed, but he's just not finding the fights he needs.
I mean, we almost never see in late game, I'm going to look at them, where it just hit 28-minute margin, exactly when I said that. I mean, 28-30. I mean, I don't know where we are.
Hashtag punters.
The one goes, yes! I knew it was going to be, does a Templar Archive get sniped before 28 minutes? I betted correctly. I knew Seed was throwing. But in all seriousness, we almost never see drops do this much damage in the late game. I feel like there's just not a lot of vision, and Keen's army is just large enough and flexible enough to pull Seed into like 4 different directions and always find damage. And Keen has such a great economy. The Warp Prism Harass has stopped because Seed just doesn't have the bank to actually do it anymore. And that means Keen is now free to have 5 bases, and he's just constantly trading these bio units for, tech structures, expensive units.
He's still got to be careful how he fights, though, because there's still storms available, and the Colossus count is scary.
Yep, 3 Archons in this mix as well. Oh, he's got a base there. Oh,
So
man, Seed like let out a huge sigh when he saw that on the camera. That was his first glimpse of it.
Yeah, man, that's the last thing you want to see is a planetary set up with another base.
He also has, no Dark Shrine anymore, so even though the base doesn't have any turrets, there's nothing he can do to harass it, really, because it's a planetary.
Ooh, here we go again.
Oh, man.
Vikings looking for the positioning.
Exactly. This is a great place. Oh, he gets the EMP off on most of those Templar. There's one more Storm available. Nope, never mind. Now he's got no Storms. The Colossi in a good position, but it doesn't matter because they're not doing damage.
Every single Templar got the EMP. There's 4 at the back. Really all come together, and this is a slaughter.
This is the end. 2 wins in a row for Prime here. Keen takes it. And the rest of those Templar are way out of position for drop defense, it looks like, but they were not here to fight. And that is going to be it. Seed slumps in his chair at half of Keen's supply right now. This base goes down. GG. Telling you, man, this is Prime's opportunity. They could do it.
Prime turning it around. Big surprises here. And I kind of like it. Keen played a solid game. He did what he had to do. It's going to come down to Tang versus Gumiho. Can the Tang take down one of the best players on MVP to win the series for Prime? That would be absolutely amazing.
Man, this feels like the Keen of old. Look at that smile. We saw him even do the head shake there for a second.
Yeah. Good. I want to see the claps there. I want to see him do the clap.
Yeah, I would love to see that as well. Something I'm just noticing. There's no coach here whatsoever for Prime.
What does that mean, Wolf?
Well, I guess it just means that their new coach is taking he said in this interview that he's not taking a very big management-oriented role on the team just yet. But I think it means that these players are kind of doing their own thing now for a little while. Coming down here on their own, and they picked good players for the maps. I really feel like this is MVP's. What's the word for this? It's a bit of a underestimating picks. Their picks are just not good. Like your picks are possibly going to cost them to lose the prime.
Well, you know, the two risks that we thought were risks ended up being the big failures so far for MVP. Now we got a very sure player against Tang Tang, someone we haven't seen had really any success. So
did you see? I think